As I was walking off, Dean Martin came on and said to the audience, you see, now there's an actor. I never forgot that.
When things get difficult in life, it is frequently the unanticipated friendships that are the ones that help us make it through the difficult times. Ernest Borgnine, a revered figure in the Hollywood industry, was able to share stories of friendship and mutual respect with none other than the legendary Dean Martin throughout their time together. What does Ernest Borgnine have to say about Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin? Let's find out. To begin, however, it is necessary for us to comprehend Dean Martin as a person. A famous person was born on June 7, 1917, in the town of Steubenville, which is located in the middle of the state of Ohio. At that time, he did not go by the name Dean Martin. It was more accurate to refer to him as Dino Paul Crocetti. In addition to being the younger brother of Bill Crocetti, the young man was the son of Italian immigrants. They say that a dreamer is the starting point for every great dream. Moreover, our Dino was a dreamer from the very beginning. Avoid becoming perplexed. It is the same individual who is known as Dino Paul Crocetti and Dean Martin. The transformation of Dino into Dean Martin, a great actor and singer who is loved by many people, was similar to that of Clark Kent and Superman. There was only one older brother in his family, and his name was Bill. He was the last child to be born. There is a proverb that says, "If Jack does nothing but work, he will become a dull boy." The young Dino, who would later become known as Dean Martin, initially began playing the drums after gaining this understanding. He used to bang on his drum set, creating his own rhythm and music, in addition to attending Grant Elementary School in Steubenville, Ohio, where he was a student. The moment you decide to have hope, anything is possible. Following the advice of this proverb, Martin, who had graduated from Steubenville High School in the 10th grade, began to investigate a new world. After putting on gloves and entering the boxing ring, he decided to do something other than bury his nose in his textbooks. He adopted the humorous moniker of Kid Crochet and went on to compete in amateur boxing at the welterweight division. While he was working part-time, he was not attending classes but rather gaining knowledge from his experiences in life. It is important to keep in mind that life is similar to riding a bicycle. You need to keep moving in order to maintain your equilibrium. Martin did not adhere to a single principle when he adopted this motto. He had a restless nature, was inquisitive, and was always seeking out new experiences. He discovered that he was engaging in activities that were dubious and fraught with danger. During a period in which alcohol was prohibited, he was transporting vehicles that were loaded with alcoholic beverages across multiple states. When we are put through tests, it is not always to expose our shortcomings, but rather to uncover our capabilities. The spirit of exploration that Martin possessed did not end there. With the intention of serving as a go-between for gamblers, he started selling lottery tickets. Furthermore, he even acted as a bookie, accepting wagers on various sporting events from customers. When you play games, life becomes more enjoyable. This proverb struck a chord with Martin, and he began working at the gambling establishments in the neighborhood. In addition to dealing cards and spinning the roulette wheel, he was also taking money from the winners and giving it to the people who had previously lost. He was in the thick of things, gaining an understanding of how the world functioned outside of the confines of learning in school. It is important to keep in mind that life does not demand that we be the best, just that we give it our best effort. The story of Martin is a demonstration of this fact. Martin navigated his way through life, taking every opportunity of his life as a learning experience. He went from dropping out of school to boxing to gambling, and he did all of these things. He was well aware of the significance of continuously moving forward, and he did exactly that, so that he could carve out his own way in the world. Martin embarked on his journey into the thrilling world of show business when he was only 17 years old. Through his singing, he brought the nightclubs in Ohio, which were located relatively close to his home sweet home, to a blaze. According to a proverb, the more effort you put in, the more fortunate you will become. The result of Martin's laborious efforts was that he was able to sing with the Ernie McKay Band. Sammy Watkins, a well-known band leader from Cleveland, was the one who found out about his talent here. As soon as Sammy recognized Martin's one-of-a-kind voice and endearing personality, he made the enticing offer to make him the lead singer in his band. After that, Martin's life took a different path, and in 1938, he began packing his bags in preparation to accompany Watkins on his tour concerts. During the year 1940, he made the decision to give his persona a more dazzling appearance by changing his name to Dean Martin. Martin was always looking for new opportunities and experimenting with new things, much like a leaf that was moving to the beat of the wind. After signing a special contract with MCA in September 1943, Martin must have been thinking, when opportunity knocks on your door, always be willing to take a chance. This is what he must have been thinking. It was planned for him to use his melodious voice to provide entertainment for the guests at the Riobamba Room in New York. It is true that he was a firm believer in the proverb that states, "With great power comes great responsibility," and he ensured that his contract was fulfilled by performing exceptionally well. The following year, in 1944, he was given his very own radio show. The program, which lasted for 15 minutes and was titled Songs by Dean Martin, was transmitted from New York City, which is known as the city that never sleeps. At the same time, in 1946, Martin was presented with another golden opportunity. An additional contract was signed by him as he kept his gaze fixed on the horizon. This time, it was with Diamond Records that it occurred. According to the terms of the contract, he recorded 4 songs. During the time that he was singing those songs, he must have recalled the age-old proverb that states that music speaks when words fail. It is without a doubt that his voice and the profound lyrics he expressed left an indelible mark on the audience. When it comes to life, great things are never accomplished by one person alone. It is done in groups of people. Now, let's go back in time to 1946 and take a trip down memory lane. An individual by the name of Martin was giving a performance at a gathering. This is the point at which Jerry Lewis emerged into the action. Imagine Martin and Lewis, 2 people who are perfectly suited to each other, having a good time while they are performing their acts on stage. The 2 of them got along like a house on fire all the time. As a result, they reasoned, why not work together? Consequently, in the eventful year of 1947, they made the decision to collaborate. It seemed to be a miracle. Lewis played the role of the humorous and goofy guy, while Martin played the role of the sensible and calm guy. It was as if they were 2 sides of the same overall coin. After that, 1949 arrived, a year that will be remembered. Do you have any idea why? Taking even the smallest step in the right direction can sometimes turn out to be the most significant step you take in your entire life. This year marked the beginning of their radio program by NBC, which lasted for 30 minutes. It was a huge success. Individuals adored it. You see, the key to their success is perseverance and sweating to the extreme. Their story of success did not come to an end there. They made their debut on your home screens in the year 1950. It's the Colgate Comedy Hour time. You have it right. In addition to their popularity on the radio, they had also gained a following on television. It is not necessary to wait for the ideal moment. Make it exist. Yes, that is exactly what they did. From 1949 until 1956, this dynamic duo was also a force to be reckoned with in the film industry. As a group, they produced an astounding 16 films. Let's talk about being extremely busy. People who are too busy to look for success are typically the ones who find it. The story of Martin and Lewis teaches us that in order to make the dream come true, we need to work together. By working together, they were able to produce something beautiful, despite the fact that they had very different personalities. Time has a brilliant way of illuminating the things that are truly significant to us. It was on July 24, 1956 that Martin and Lewis made their final appearance on stage at the Copacabana, which was located in New York City. As a result of disagreements regarding their creative process, they made the decision to part ways, which marked the conclusion of an eventful journey that had lasted for an entire decade from the beginning. As the saying goes, every path has its share of puddles. An author named Neil Daniels, who is known for writing about the lives of famous people, compared the partnership between the 2 individuals to that of a marriage. Additionally, he reveals that the fans were taken aback by the unexpected breakup of Martin and Lewis. They felt as if they were witnesses to an unexpected breakup between a couple who were deeply in love with one another. Fans had envisioned this hilarious duo working their magic for an indefinite period of time, which would have made the separation even more unexpected. It is said that life is what happens when you are preoccupied with other plans. Martin went back to his roots as a singer and continued to venture forward on his own. In a short amount of time, he was once again entrancing the world with his stunning voice. He recorded hit songs such as That's Amore, Memories Are Made of This, When You're Smiling, and Oh Marie under the prestigious label Capitol. While this was going on, He went back to the world of acting with a renewed sense of enthusiasm. Someone once said, "Make a commotion and then vanish," and Martin did exactly that. During the year 1958, Martin caused a commotion in the world of film. His remarkable performance in the film The Young Lions, in which he appeared alongside well-known actors such as Montgomery Clift and Marlon Brando, was praised by critics. Consequently, although Martin and Lewis's journey comes to an end, Martin's story is not yet finished. Always keep in mind that every conclusion marks the beginning of something new. Certainly, Martin was aware of how to begin again. Martin began his journey in the enchanted city of Las Vegas for the first time. The Rat Pack was a group that was well known for their fun and excitement, and he had a few friends who were members of that group. Could you make a guess as to who was a member of this fascinating group? Martin, the incredibly cool Frank Sinatra, the vivacious Sammy Davis Jr., the hilarious Joey Bishop, and the charming Peter Lawford were one of the performers who participated. The life of this gang was like that of the most popular kids in school. They lived a life that was full of cheer, games, joy, and the twinkling lights of Las Vegas. The excitement of their journey did not end in Las Vegas. They made the decision to venture into uncharted territories and make their debut on the big screen, much like our favorite animated films. Ocean's 11 was a fun action movie that was released in 1960 and starred the Rat Pack actors together. The Rat Pack was like a team of superheroes. The heroic deeds that they performed did not end there, however. The following two films, Sergeants 3 and Robin and the Seven Hoods, featured them working together once more. In accordance with the proverb, friends who play together tend to remain together. Do you know this? Martin participated in 51 incredible film adventures over the course of his life. Each of us has a collection of books and stories that we look forward to reading over and over again. The films that Martin directed were extremely popular. Some Came Running, in which he appeared alongside Shirley MacLaine and Frank Sinatra. Bells Are Ringing, in which Judy Holliday appeared. Rio Bravo, in which John Wayne appeared. Toys in the Attic, Airport, Cannonball Run and Cannonball Run 2, and Rio Bravo, in which he appeared. In the same way that we take pleasure in playing a variety of games on the playground on a daily basis, Martin enjoyed experimenting with a wide range of narratives and roles in his films. Whatever it was, whether it was the glitz of Las Vegas or the world of films, Martin and his friends were able to live out their dreams. When Martin left Capitol Records in 1962, he took his musical instruments with him and said his goodbyes. He concluded that he would work together with Reprise. In 1964, 2 years later, he produced a record that quickly became the most popular single of all time. The title of the song was "Everybody Loves Somebody." How about this? It became the most popular song in the United States for an entire week, eventually surpassing the Beatles as the most popular song in the country. When it comes to music, it's comparable to winning a gold medal at the Olympics. With the passage of time, this well-known song evolved into the theme song for his television show, The Dean Martin Show, which was broadcast on NBC for a total of 8 years, beginning in 1965. According to a quote attributed to Benjamin Franklin, "Well done is better than well said." As a result of Martin's subsequent endeavor, the Dean Martin Comedy Hour, he demonstrated that this assertion was accurate. Between 1973 and 1974, this transition was as smooth as chocolate that had been melted, and it was completely successful. I'd like to share with you a fascinating fact. Martin gained a lot of notoriety for his act on this show, in which he pretended to be a humorous drunk person, but it was all make-believe. Indeed, a significant number of viewers were completely unaware of this fact. It seemed as though he was entertaining the audience with a game of make-believe, and they were all in on it. Martin enjoyed making jokes that were humorous and lighthearted about his fictitious love for alcohol. "I feel sorry for people who don't drink," which was one of his jokes that people will remember forever. When they first open their eyes in the morning, they experience the brightest feeling of the entire day. It makes me think of a proverb that states that every man is a fool for at least 5 minutes every single day. Wisdom is the ability to refrain from going beyond that limit. Love is the master key that unlocks the doors to complete and utter contentment. It was not just once, not twice, but 3 times that Martin discovered this fulfillment. On October 2, 1941, Martin and Elizabeth Ann MacDonald, who would later become his first wife, took their first steps down the aisle. The couple decided to start a family and were fortunate enough to have 4 lovely children. After what seemed like an eternity, the beautiful Gina Caroline made her debut into the world on December 20th, 1957. When it comes to life, however, it is said that life is similar to riding a bicycle. You need to keep moving in order to maintain your equilibrium. And that is exactly what Martin did. He tied the knot with Catherine May Hahn, his third wife, in the year 1973. They decided to adopt a sweet little girl who they named Sasha for themselves. In spite of this, Martin's marriage to Hahn came to an end in 1976 due to the unpredictability of life. Martin's journey of love and family is described in this way. Always keep in mind that family is not important. All of it is included. A terrible lightning strike occurred on Martin's day, which was a day filled with darkness. Dino Jr., his young son, was a passenger on a plane that went down in 1987 while it was participating in a military training exercise. There are certain things in life that you will never be able to truly get over, and the death of a child is without a doubt one of those things. As a result of this tragic event, Martin decided to retire from the entertainment industry following a concert tour that lasted from 1988 to 1989. His friends from the Rat Pack, Davis Jr. and Sinatra, played alongside him on the tour. Unfortunately, things took yet another turn for the worse when he became ill and was forced to withdraw from the tour entirely. Liza Minnelli, who had completed the tour, took his place instead and completed the tour. On the morning of Christmas in 1995, there was discouraging news. The final breath had been taken by Martin. In Beverly Hills, California, he had passed away due to severe respiratory failure. He was 78 years old at the time of his death. With each passing day, we are given one fewer day to live. But with each new day that dawns, we are given one more day to have hope. At this moment, he shines down on us from the heavens of the stars. The name Martin is still well known in the modern world as a legendary performer who has appeared on stage and screen. Legends are immortal. These things become a part of you. The most well-known aspects of Martin's career are his hilarious duo act with Lewis and his membership in the legendary Rat Pack team. Regarding Dean Martin, Ernest Borgnine expresses his opinion. For those of you who are unaware of Ernest Borgnine, he was born as the son of Italian immigrants, and his childhood was filled with exciting experiences. A period of 2 years was spent by him and his mother in the breathtaking northern regions of Italy, after which they relocated back to Connecticut. As soon as they got back, they sensed that it was time for a change, and they made the decision to change their family name to Borgnine. Borgnine made the decision to answer the call of the United States of America and serve his country after completing his high school education in 1935. The Navy. Borgnine was a man who genuinely enjoyed his time spent serving in the Navy, which is the only way to produce impressive results in one's work. Because of his commitment and effort, he was able to serve for a period of 6 years, but he did not stop there. Borgnine did not hesitate to re-enlist in the United States military after the United States entered World War II. He managed to work his way up through the ranks to become a gunner's mate first class before being discharged in 1945. After returning to civilian life, he was uncertain about the direction that his life would take from that point on. When one door closes, another door opens. Is there a saying that you remember? Borgnine experienced exactly that. She suggested that he pursue a career in acting. Borgnine, who was not one to pass up a good opportunity, made the most of the gift of the GI its bill. During the year 1944, this wonderful legislation provided benefits to veterans of the war. For a period of 6 months, Borgnine utilized it as a means of education at the prestigious Randall School, located in Hartford, Connecticut. During the year 1946, he became a member of the Barter Theater in Abingdon, Virginia, and began his career working behind the scenes. According to an old proverb, every artist started out as a novice performer. This was demonstrated by Borgnine, who began his career in the shadows and eventually became a leading actor in more than a dozen theatrical productions. The year 1949 marked Borgnine's debut on Broadway, where he delighted audiences with his performance in the comedy Harvey. As a result of this, he was able to perform even more on stage and started making appearances on the television, which is a magical box that we call the television. After that, he followed his path and entered the world of film, where he made his debut in the year 1951 in a film titled The Whistle at Eaton Falls, in which he played the role of a factory manager. However, it was his performance as Fatso Judson a rather rough jailer in the military drama From Here to Eternity that captured the attention of the audience and caused them to sit up and take notice. The spice of life is found in its variety. Following that, Borgnine appeared in a wide variety of characters across a number of well-known films. It was in the thrilling drama Bad Day at Black Rock that he made his debut, in addition to appearing in Western films such as Johnny Guitar and Vera Cruz. Every one of these characters that he portrayed was quite terrifying and tenacious. On the other hand, a remarkable event took place in the year 1955. In the world, there are many magical things that are just waiting for our senses to become more acute. On the romantic drama known as Marty, Borgnine played a leading role. Paddy Chayefsky was the author of this story, which was initially broadcast on television from the beginning. On the other hand, he went in a completely different direction this time. As opposed to being a menacing or frightening individual, he was a lonely butcher with a kind heart. His performance, which was completely unexpected, garnered him praise and even earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor. What happens in life is what happens when we are preoccupied with other plans. The path that Borgnine took from making his debut on Broadway to winning the Academy Award demonstrates that life can take unexpected turns as well, and those unexpected occurrences can be absolutely, completely wonderful. Ernest stated that one day after he had finished performing a scene, another well-known actor named Dean Martin came forward and told the audience, "You see, that's what a real actor looks like." Ernest was referring to the fact that Dean Martin brought up the subject. Is it possible for you to fathom the warmth that Ernest must have experienced upon hearing that, especially coming from an actor such as Dean Martin? In accordance with the proverb, a word of kindness can warm 3 months of winter. The conversation continued with Ernest expressing his admiration for Dean Martin and recounting how the straightforward words he spoke had a profound effect on him. It is possible for a strong heart to be touched by kind words, just as a gentle wind can cause a sturdy tree to sway. In addition to that, he mentioned Frank Sinatra, who is another great personality. As far as Ernest is concerned, both Dean and Frank were incredibly wonderful individuals. At times, individuals have the ability to speak unkind words about other people. A number of people would argue that Frank Sinatra was a troublemaker, that he enjoyed arguing, and that he was always drinking. On the other hand, Ernest was not convinced. It was his belief that they were genuine individuals. During the conversation, Ernest related a story about Frank that will undoubtedly motivate you. An actor by the name of Lee J. was present, the unfortunate Cobb, who was in the hospital due to his severe illness. On a particular day, an ambulance arrived to pick him up, but nobody was aware of the destination of the ambulance. Despite the fact that Lee might have been concerned about the situation, he was instructed to not be concerned about anything, not even the money. It came as a complete surprise to Lee when he discovered that he was at Frank Sinatra's home in Palm Springs. After Frank had finally met Lee, Lee inquired as to the reason why Frank had gone to such great lengths for him. Simple and heartfelt, Frank's response was thoughtful. "You have a good manner about you." This merely demonstrates that a good deed does not erase the bad deeds, nor does a bad deed erase the good deeds. A reward should be given to each individual. Consequently, whether it be through a few straightforward words of encouragement from Dean Martin or an extraordinary act of generosity from Frank Sinatra, these instances highlight the significance of elevating those who are in our immediate vicinity. Do you agree? If you have any thoughts, please share them in the comment section below. Remind yourself to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We appreciate you watching.